What's going on, everyone? I do want to take this time and welcome you to this week's episode of the Life of Young Funeral Professionals. Before we even get into today, I truly want to say thank you for your support of the launch of our first episode. The love, the feedback, and the shares have really been amazing. And so I want to take this time from the bottom of my heart to say thank you. So we're going to take us a quick moment. I want you to I want you to share. And while we're going through this conversation, come on and comment. I want to hear what we're talking about. So tonight, I have someone who we know his platform, but we don't know the face behind it. And it's speaking with this young man and learning his story and even learning his views on funeral service has really, really opened up my eyes. And I really wanted to bring him forth to the platform so he can share his views and his story. And it's really important. And when you guys find out who this young man is and what he runs, I'll tell you, it's going to be a grand time. So without any further ado, please welcome to the stage Mr. Omarion Joe at this time.
How you doing, Mr. Watson?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. I'm so glad to be here. I'm honored. It's a privilege. Normally I'm doing the interviewing and now I'm being interviewed. That's so
It's time to switch up the roles. And so
it's
I want to go ahead.
I said it's different over here.
Yes, it is. Trust me, this is something outside of my scope too. So I'm normally, just closing out a service and going home. So now this is we're both the new atmosphere. So it's all right. It's all right. So we had a great conversation the other day, and to learn that you've only been in funeral service since 2020 amazes me.
In 20, yeah.
It amazes me. So what inspired you to be in funeral service, and how long have you desired to be in funeral service before you even got in?
Well, okay, as a kid, I can say I was always with my grandparents on the weekends. And so you know what that meant? Church and church. And so on Saturdays, it's like we always had a funeral to go to. I was going to funerals for people I didn't even know. She was going, I was going. So I had to go to funerals all the time. And so even as a child, I paid attention to stuff and was very observant and all of that. And so we would go to these funerals and I'm like, how did that person get in a casket? What kind of car is this? And what do these people do on a daily? What is a funeral home? So I gained interest then. And throughout gaining that interest, I began to Google funerals, Google what is this, what is that, just to solve the answer to my curiosity. And so I would do that, and we would go through town often, and we would pass funeral homes, and I would always look. I would look out the window waiting to see a funeral home, and I would be told often, "Stop looking over there." You know, look to the other side of the look to the other side of the window. So I would do that, and I then I began in 2020, my ninth grade year, going into my ninth grade year. I met a young man that worked at a firm over here, and he introduced me, kind of interest my spark back into funeral service, how it was when I was a child. And so when he introduced that spark, that kind of pushed me further to go and open back up that door to funeral service. So that's how I got started. Um, and really getting me started in 2020, my cousin graduated. He had a graduation party, and one of his friends is in funeral service. He came to the party. He said, and he told his friend, he said, "This is my cousin I was telling you about that always had us do funerals at our grandma's house and stuff when something died, something." And so, and so, um, he took my number, and I took his number, and from there it was just history.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Let me touch on that funerals at grandma's house. That's
I didn't play. I didn't play. We had four-wheelers, and when we would go over there, I would say, let's line these four-wheelers up. We ain't making no trail or nothing. We having a funeral.
let me tell you. So when I was younger, what I would do was I would get like a glasses case, and I don't know if you ever seen those like little art dummies that you could. It was real small. I would put that thing in a glasses case. I would print flowers. I would get all kinds of stuff. I was having all kind. So many things have died at my mom's house.
Listen, she had a rose bush out front that nobody could touch, but I would sneak flowers off there. And then I would go into the back room where she had all her shoes at. And I'll go look for a box that had one shoe in it or no shoes in it. And I'll take that box and put something in it. And we'll be out there having a funeral with a box full of paper.
My goodness. And so, what's interesting to me is when I was younger and I was doing all those things, I literally did not know what funeral service really was. And, as I saw, been to plenty of funerals, I actually wanted to go to funerals just so I can.
You're the only one.
Yeah, I want to see how the decedent looks. I want to see how the funeral home is. I want to see the cars. I want to see their outfits. I want to see it all. So when I got into funeral service, I had a mindset of what it was. So talk about when you actually got in and you actually learned what it takes for funeral service, because that's totally different from the outside looking in to actually being inside.
So on my half, from what I see, it is a lot that goes into it. You know how they say you gotta walk that walk and talk that talk. That's what that is. It's more than the funeral.
True.
It's more than what takes place on Saturday, because at the funeral home they're doing something Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's more to it. It's more to programs. It's more than flowers. It's more than caskets. It's more than cars. You have to order those flowers. You have to order those caskets. You have to order those programs. You have to make sure everything is in order. You have the right people and all that other stuff. So it is more to it than what I thought about it then. Like, I thought it wasn't that much. But now that I can see and I'm exposed to more, I'm like, it's a lot.
Yeah, it truly is. And this is why I wanted to start this movement, because no one really knows what we do outside of standing by the casket and smiling. That's it. No one really knows. And so it truly is a journey. So I really want to talk about something that keeps you going in this industry, something that, boosts your morale, I like to say, in this industry, because it can be trying. And I just want to know, what are your, I guess you could say, coping mechanisms?
What keeps me going is knowing that it's my calling.
Sorry.
Knowing that it's my calling and that it's a purpose that I'm fulfilling right now. That what keeps me going. The relationship I have with God, that's what keeps me going. My loving family and my great mentors, that's what keep me going. If it's not for my mentors, I can truly say I don't think I would be in funeral service, but as successful as I am in funeral service. I don't think
That's good. That's really good. Having mentors and things are really, really important. And we'll shout some of your mentors out a little later. But I want to talk about, you said when we were talking, you said that some of the biggest things that is a hardship for you is when families aren't really satisfied. It really makes a big difference, when you've done all you can and your family truly isn't satisfied. Even when it comes to some of the practitioners in this industry, a lot of them don't really have the full mindset to serve. Truly, like you said, it's a call to serve. So how do you navigate through the hardships when families aren't satisfied? when you were working with someone who is in it for a job rather than in it for the ministry or the calling? How do you navigate through that?
I can't answer that for myself, but I believe navigating through it can be hard. Um, it takes time, it takes understanding, and when you understand, you kind of know what to do, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. So with that, I can't answer that one right.
Hey,
Little, yeah.
it's okay. It's okay.
Little
It's all it's all right. It's all right. So, one thing that I really was talking about when we were talking is, and I want you mentioned something, and I really want you to really touch bases on it.
hmm
Something that is really important to me is really keeping God first in this, because God is truly going to give you the grace to keep going. God's really
The
going to give you the grace um,
strength.
and the strength. Yes, and so I want you to elaborate on how what you do to keep yourself, and because this can be spiritually taxing. um
Mm,
you are dealing with a family who is not spiritual, um a family that is of different walks of faith, and so how do you keep yourself spiritually grounded through that?
mm. I'm church all day, every day. I'm in church 24/7. Um, but how do I do that? I, with my free time, I study. I dig deeper. Um, I find different stories in the Bible that can relate to life and apply it. I apply it daily. And just to have that connection and relationship with God to where I can say, "Hey, God, what do I do in this situation?" Or how do I go about this, before I answer.
Mhm.
And key to me is staying prayerful. That's it. That's it. That's all. Staying prayerful.
Yes, 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 yes. So one thing I've learned in this, I also I wasn't always this way, but I'm also in church all the time. I'm
Oh, yeah.
church, so I had to learn how to manage my professional life
hmm
and manage my personal life,
mm
all while keeping my spirit grounded when it comes to my walking with Christ, because I want to make sure that, one, I do believe that God has called me to be in funeral service, and I do believe that it is truly a call. It's a call to serve, and some people just go. But
mm.
no, anyway.
Sooner or
Uh,
later, though. Sooner or later.
so I want to talk about how you balance, if there is a balance between professional and personal life, because some people, like myself, um, low key eat, sleep, and breathe funeral life. I might be in the mall at the food court looking at caskets. So
There is no personal life balance. On this device is you look on every app and you're gonna find something about a funeral. If you call me 2 o'clock in the morning about something, somehow we're gonna get on the topic about funeral service. So I believe funeral is my life. That's it. That's all. Funeral and church. If it's not one of the two, then that's it. I can't even tell you how many sneakers I got in my closet. I wear dress shoes all the time.
let me tell you, as I mentioned the other day, my casual clothes are slim to none compared to my professional clothes.
Mm.
This is me. I'm sorry. And our phones are just the same. I promise you that. I really do promise you that.
You go open any app and a funeral come up. That's the first thing.
Child, any app, and it's crazy.
Get down to the
People
photos.
don't know
I'm
that.
telling you.
Say it again.
I said even down to the photos.
I have so many pictures of services and all kinds of stuff in my phone regarding funeral service. It's crazy, and what's really what I learned over time is there are some really good groups on social media that can help you enrich yourselves. And
Much. I
so
love that education part.
yes, and it's all because as we all know, funeral service is an ever changing industry. It's always changing. And so you have to be in a place where you feel the need to be educated. Even when we travel to conventions, I understand that it is a time to, have great camaraderie between each other and have, let your hair down. But we have to be mindful to keep that continued education because we need to serve our families to the best of our ability. And how can we do that if we're not even learning anything from 2010? If you're still in the same place, it's crazy.
And how can we serve them better? Knowing that someone else in the community or area is not already doing it. And so if one family sees you do that one thing, and that family is going to come to you all the time because they know that last family funeral home wasn't doing what you did for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
it really is. And
be that trendsetter in your community.
Yes, and sometimes people don't even recognize that families are watching.
Always.
Families are watching. So I just it really amazes me how some funeral homes are okay in doing the things the same way from the time they started. And you wonder why your call volume is slowly dwindling. It's nothing about the directors or the staff. It's just people are looking for innovation. We're looking for more. And so it's crazy. It truly is crazy. And so with that, we talk, honestly, we had a pretty good conversation the other night.
An hour long. I called you about one thing and we on the phone for an hour.
And I didn't even mean for that to happen. I didn't even mean, but I'm really passionate about this. And if you spark it, I can go. I could talk all day if I had to. I can talk all day if I had to. And so earlier you were talking about, mentors keep you pushing. I actually was on the phone with one of my mentors today, and he was congratulating me on this, and his opinion really mattered to me. I really am grateful for that because he has seen me from here, and it's gone up, and I'm so grateful for him. And sooner or later, he will come forward and be on the show just to my co-host, yes. But talk about some of the mentors or the people that inspire you or keep you going and in this industry, because you need to look up to somebody because you're looking at yourself
all the time. And the people that I look up to, out of the few, it's many. So many, can't name them all, but the few I'm going to name are very close people that I look up to and mentors and people that I can go to anytime to ask, hey, is this right? Is this what you do at such and such or anything like that? Mr. Tyson Brown. Mr. Brown is the young man that re-sparked my interest in funeral service and actually helped me to get where I am today. So I appreciate him for what he's done and what he's contributed to my, not only my calling and purpose, but contribute to my life outside of that. I appreciate him for that as well. But Mr. Brown, Mr. James Bell, one of the greatest embalmers, birthed it out of South Carolina. Tyrone Speaks. South Carolina. Tyrone Speaks. Jaquel Brown. And so many others.
Yeah.
But these are my main people that I can go to and ask, hey, is this right? What do you think about this? What you think about that? Do you think this convention is worth going to for learning? services, at furthering
That's,
education, and that's one thing, and that's why I love them because their number one thing is education, and when it comes to anything, they will tell you education.
mhm.
And believe it or not, all of them serve some type of part in education. So they're always going to say education, education, education. And if it's not for them pushing me to do education and all that other stuff, then I'm sure, again, I wouldn't be where I'm at now in funeral service. Even outside of funeral service, I'm sure I wouldn't be where I'm at now.
Yes, that's
So
really
those are the great giants. They don't know it, but giants, and the best stuff come out of South Carolina and all that South Carolina. So
important. No, I do want to say he's really humble. He's really humble, and I just got to give him his kudos. He's watching, and so I just want to say that Tyrone Speaks is really, truly an upcoming giant in this industry, and I look up to him, and he is. I watch him from a distance, and so I gotta give props where props is due because that young man, my God, my God. So I um, when we enter the call to serve, we're in it for the long haul. We are,
hmm
and I'm sorry, but the retirement plan is your own service in funeral service, and so while we serve and while we are the next generation, what do you want to see the industry uh, evolve to, or what do you want to see? Where do you see this industry going in a whole as a whole?
I see the industry going to the next level. The next level. I say that because the young people that are in it right now are this is so many, and they're starting so young, and they are actually striving to do what they want to do in funeral service, as in directing funerals or learning embalming or whatever it is that they want to do in funeral service. They are striving to do it, and they're taking no as not an answer. Because I see some people, um, like myself, I wanted to in the beginning, I wanted to work so bad that I would go by this funeral home every day, and I would nag the owner. If he wasn't there, I would nag his wife. If she wasn't there, I would nag the lady that's sitting at the front desk. And day or night, if I see them out there at night, I'm going by there. I was passing through there one time at 11:30 at night, and I saw the van left. And I sat there and waited till that van came back, and they came back an hour later. So I was there to almost 1 o'clock just to speak to somebody about working. And so
Oh, you definitely got that because I'm sorry.
so I was like, I'll wash cars, I'll sweep the floor after school, even though you close at 5. I'll
Mhm.
still sweep the floor. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll work funerals for free. That's how bad I wanted to serve. And so I believe that seeing some of these young people, um, they they take it serious and they actually want to learn about funeral service and what it takes to become a funeral director and embalmer, and what is in one thing I can say about it is if you do it now, you know what is a day to day for a funeral director or a day to day for an embalmer. So
Yeah,
it's good.
it is, man. It is, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else besides funeral service. Some days fed up with the day, but I couldn't see myself doing anything less than serving my families. I couldn't see myself doing anything less than because there's a difference between. being generationally passed down, and actually creating your own legacy.
Yes.
And so I'm pushing. I'm trying to, with the help of God, I'm the pilot. I'm the passenger on his plane because he's my pilot, but he is making my journey. And so it's something really important to me to set goals, and something really important to me to keep myself personally on track. No matter what the circumstances of the industry are, I know I want to do a certain amount of things. So talk about some of your personal goals that you want to see yourself accomplish. Kudos to you for graduating high school. I did see that. So let me tell you that graduation picture, boy, that was mighty nice, mighty nice.
Praise God.
Yes, yes, yes. And so you already accomplished one major accomplishment, and so I want you to talk about where you see yourself or what goals you have set aside for yourself in this industry.
Industry and life wise, I plan to go to mortuary school,
Amen.
uh, become an apprentice for the state of South Carolina, and get licensed here in South Carolina. Um, Open my own family-owned firm, that's comforting to families, that is about service, and give back to the community in a way that I see the need to give to them. Um, so mortuary school, become an apprentice, and also to go to theology school.
Oh,
Man,
wasn't
theology.
expecting that one.
A lot of people think I'm a pastor. I would visit churches with my I would have my Bible and iPad because I would take notes on my iPad, and just you gotta keep your actual Bible. I don't be going to no Bible on my phone and all that. I flip pages. So,
Convict me while we're just talking, because my apostle keeps talking about make sure you bring your Bible to church.
mhm, I flip
It's
pages.
it's right here at the palm of my hands, but
I flip
different
pages.
season, different requirement.
So I would visit churches, um with my Bible and my iPad, and I'll go in just like everybody else. And they say, "Oh, you a pastor? You got to go sit up there." I said, "No, no, I'm just visiting." And so, my ninth grade year, I went to school. Um, 10th grade year, 10th grade year. That's when we actually started going back to school in person. And so, was going to school, and these teachers getting to know me. And so this one hallway started something. The science hall, they started something. This teacher, um, I would tell them about, we would talk about church all the time. She would have me put a scripture on her board every morning, and all this, like, did you pray this morning? We about to fast and all this other stuff. And so one day she called me Bishop instead of my name. And so that was my name until I graduated.
Wow.
Bishop. If she see me in public, she said, "Oh, good morning, Bishop." I said, "Okay." I said, "Okay." I said, "Okay."
Wow,
Yeah.
that's truly amazing.
Yes, theology school, theology school, and then I would also continue further in my education in science, theology, and whatever else is in store. Out step by step.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, you could have said it many of things, but
Yeah,
from our conversation the other night, it's evident. It's there.
praise God.
Yes, yes, yes. And you really have a strong anointing on you, and I want you to know that. Um,
Yes,
not,
thank
not,
you.
and so please keep going. Please keep going. And so yeah, man, I don't know. We gotta stay connected, because that one phone call, and I believe we're gonna do great things.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
we gotta be here now. Be here now. And so connected. Kind of
praise.
wish I was doing it, but whatever.
God.
So my surprise to all of you, we learned who he is. We learned what
Yes.
what he loves and where he started from. But One thing I don't think you all know,
Little do they know.
little do they know, there's a platform that
A
is
mighty.
how many viewers, followers?
Uh, I would say overall over 200,000 with over 6 billion views.
And I'm probably half of those 6 billion because I watched some of them videos over and over and over again. This young man is the visionary, the mind, and the hand to Official Funeral World. For those who do not know, he mentioned to me, it's official. It's
Always.
okay. It's official.
Hmm.
Official Funeral World is a social media. You know what? Omarion, you
Yes.
explain Official Funeral World. You
Uh,
do it.
Official Funeral World. Official Funeral World is a platform that is on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and we will further social media soon, probably. Um, but it's a platform that is dedicated to funeral service. It displays official service announcements from families, and it shows you high profile funerals that you won't see on a regular.
Mm-hmm.
For example, um, Tito Jackson will be sharing those photos soon, and Frankie Beverly will be sharing those photos soon as well. But it's a platform that you can go to see if it's official,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And with that platform comes a podcast that's hosted monthly, um, where I take the time to interview licensed funeral directors and embalmers all over the world, and they would take the time to answer questions that the public have or educate young funeral professionals like myself. And I take notes every time we talk on the podcast. I have to go back and watch and get my notes in as y'all done got y'all notes in. So it it's a great platform. It is built from the ground on up. That's what I can say. It's nothing bought. I started on a Thursday night, and Friday morning I woke up with 15,000 followers, and I was so surprised. I said, I got this many followers. And I went I'm walking around my cousin all this time. He's in funeral service. I'm walking around him all this time. We go in here, we go in there, and my page kept coming up on his timeline. And he was like, I want to know who is this and that. And so I told him, I said, that's my platform. And he was like, you lying. I said, no, I pulled that phone out. I said, you see that edit button right there? And so he was so surprised by it. Um, I was like, wow. And so to see that it's grown where it's at now, and to know, I didn't know that many people were watching,
Yes.
but to know that people are watching, like, for example, with conventions and stuff, obviously now that I show my face, people know that I run the platform.
Yes.
And so what's so crazy when you didn't know I was in a room with you and you talked about the platform and
Ooh, wow.
you played it and you didn't know I was right there.
That is insane. Now he ain't talking about me.
No, no.
Yes,
We in general. We speak in general.
yes. Oh my god. Now
Yeah.
that's really humbling because you could
Yeah.
have, damn, it's me, but that's really humbling. That's one
I
thing.
could have been nasty about it. I could be like no pictures and all that other stuff. You know that I don't even know what the word would be for it, but you know. Uh,
That's really crazy to even know. And so if you coming from a viewer, a follower,
Yeah.
comments of Cheryl.
Praise God for
You,
you.
I'm telling you, I send your stuff. That
Oh
listen,
man.
I love Official Funeral World. It is truly something that on my downtime, I'm on Official Funeral World. Just seeing some of the funeral homes that you highlight, and then just seeing some of the services that you are able to put forward, because we're not all privy to be in those places. And
Mm,
so, I was seeing Sissy Houston. I saw some of those pictures on there. I saw Richard McQuan on there, and there's countless others that we can mention. But it's really amazing to me that you can be in the room, and then
mm,
you're probably moving all stealthily, just to get a nice shot. And it's really, you really have a gift for that. And from a viewer and a sharer, I thank you, because you have shed light on where the industry is going, and you have given me that platform has given me some ideas to help myself build.
yeah.
Even I take notes too in your not little, because I don't say that's wrong.
You got to. That when they talk, you have to take the time and take notes
You have
because
to take my notes.
even with them not being major people, they are still educated on funeral service. And some may be just funeral home owners. And with them being owners, they definitely knows what it takes to be in funeral service.
Yes.
And you have your licensed funeral directors and embalmers, and they can tell you this is right and this is wrong. And that's why the people I called earlier, that's why I appreciate them so much, because um, they teach me what they know and what they're still learning.
Yes.
And so that is very good. That is very good to take the time and take notes when you have access to great people like whoever I'm interviewing.
Yes. There was
Yeah.
even a time y'all were on TikTok on live for hours, and I was right there. Didn't care. I was right there.
Brian, Jeremy, and Tyrone
Yes.
had me up for 6 hours straight.
I,
Look,
was,
6 hours.
I dozed off, got back on. I was like, I'm right here. I'm here. But
Somebody
that,
said they took a nap and then went and got popcorn, and we were still on.
it's so amazing, because there's so many, and there was joking and stuff in between, but there was so much that you could have grasped from that conversation.
And
So
even in the jokes,
it was still, you should still be listening.
yeah.
It was so much insight. It really was. And I was like, this is great. This is great. And I thank you so much, because you could have did anything else, but you started Official Funeral World, and I am forever.
Mhm,
My
mhm.
time wouldn't be the same if I didn't have Official Funeral World.
Oh yes, I'm telling you.
And so, deep down inside, I was like a little kid in a candy store, and I saw Official Funeral World share my announcement. I said, "Oh, this is oh, hallelujah!" it really blessed me. And even tonight's conversation really blessed me. So I truly say thank you.
Yeah.
I really say thank you, because you could have said no, you could have said you weren't comfortable, but all it took was a conversation and to learn. And I'm so grateful for your yes. I'm so grateful for your service. Um, just know now you have always been, but you are seen, you are appreciated, you are loved by many, including me, and I thank you. So I want to
Yes.
take this time to share your, I know we already said it, but say it again so they can follow you, so we try and get those following up.
Oh yes.
Yes,
And then
sir.
when you follow, you get educated. It's not.
Educated.
You get free keys to the house.
Oh,
You know.
oh, one of our guest apostles, Apostle Thomas Wesley Weeks Sr., said, "This is free. This is free. This is
It's
free."
free. It's free education from people that had to pay for it.
Yes, 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 yes,
You know.
yes.
So if you don't take it in now and down the road, you mess up. So happen. You be like, I should have listened.
You should have listened while you had the chance.
And so I could have been selfish to keep those connections to myself and have those conversations by myself. But I wanted to share it with somebody else.
Yes.
Because I'm
Yes.
not the only one that wants to be in funeral service. I'm not the only one that wants to be a licensed funeral director and embalmer. I'm not the only one that wants to serve.
Yes.
There's so many more people, and there's other people besides children, but even adults that are looking to come into funeral service. They don't know how to come in,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
so when you go to that platform and you take the time to look at those podcasts, and you take time to listen into that we go deeper in education when I talk about the school background. So when you take time to listen to that part, you'll have it. And if
Mhm.
you actually take time to listen to the whole podcast, then you just got a free pair of keys to the house.
Free,
You know,
free pair of keys to the house. My
no,
God.
no, yeah, you don't have to pay for your keys to get made. It's being, you just have to take time to listen, learn, and do. That's what it is in my book.
My goodness. I tell you, y'all
Yeah.
teaching me a little something on here. And that's what it's all about is strengthening each other. And I will say this every episode. I really will. It's all about strengthening one another. And like you said, someone has questions. Someone's out there just, wondering. And I truly believe, you have started. And I do believe I'm so grateful for that. But I also truly do believe that someone questions are going to be answered between the platforms that are out, and it's just amazing. It really is amazing.
And that's why I started, because nobody else was doing it. And then people would send emails and DMs every day. I'm still getting them
Yeah,
about this and that. And I'm like, I can't answer that for you.
yeah,
I said, well, let me have something where I can have somebody that can answer it for them, answer it publicly, and answer questions that other people may have. And
yes.
so, with that podcast, Live with the Undertaker, um, I'm going to launch something else soon. Another podcast is called Grieving with Grace, where it'll be for the public.
Oh wow.
Grieving with Grace. So grieving, having someone that's grieved or grieving, if they're willing to come on, have them share their story of how they dealt with grief to help somebody else. No.
Wow. You know what? That's
Yeah, sneak peek into it. The special guest Latrice Pace and a
wow.
few others, man. You
Wow.
will, yeah.
I'll be on.
You have to watch that one. Yeah.
So, man, again, I thank you. I
Yes.
thank everyone for tuning in. This is something that I truly am grateful for your support. I cannot do this without you. Even again, Omarion, thank you for your yes.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
No problem. In my good funeral voice, this now concludes
Mm.
social services. So I kind
If
of
I had
stop.
things like no.
Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and join us back next week on the life of the young film professionals. Thank you so very much, and God bless. God bless.